Hi everybody, Mike here from HebdonPhotography, back once again for a quick tutorial. Well, I think this time we're going to break the tutorial up into sections on this image and work on one specific item at a time. Therefore you can just sort of watch the whole set of videos, or you can watch the one that pertains to what it is you're trying to figure out how to do. So what we're going to do is take this image of Jerrica, who sat with me night before last. We're going to take it step by step from this to this. Again, there's our before, there's our after, or what we hope to end up with. And if that's the kind of thing you'd like to know how to do, stick with me. Here we go. The first thing I like to do is look at the bigger problems within the image. One of the problems here is we have a bit of color cast on Jerrica's face. There's a little bit too much saturation, a little too much red in the cheeks here, and the skin tone's just a little bit off. The first thing I'm going to do is level those out just a little bit. One method that I like to use is to put in a hue saturation layer. Here it is. Up here in the drop down, if I select the reds and just work on the reds, I can grab my hue slider and change the reds in the image. What I'm going to do is put this over to, say, a 5, drag it over to the right. Now I've got a +5 here, and I'll take the yellows. I'll do the same thing. Now here, if I highlight this, I can actually use the scroll wheel in my mouse to scroll down to a minus, which is as much as -6 there. We'll go, I'm going to leave it at a -4 for now. We may come back and do another layer later, but this is a good starting place. Even out the tones a little bit. Yeah, maybe a 5, -5. And here we go. So very first thing after this will be our healing. I like to go around the face, starting up at the top center and working in a counterclockwise motion all the way around and then down the center of the face. And this is exactly what we'll do now. You can go any way you like. The thing is that that's my way of kind of making sure I hit all the places. It's just a part of my workflow. I'm going to use the healing brush tool. The healing brush tool is nested in with a couple of other tools, the spot healing brush, patch tool, and the red eye tool. The healing brush tool for me is one of my favorites. I do like to use the clone tool as well. Now what I have to do is, when I see a blemish like this one here, we'll come even closer. Now that we can see that properly, what I want to do is with this healing brush tool, which you can see right around this blemish, I'm going to hold it over. It's roughly the size of that blemish that we hope to cover up. Holding down the Alt key, my brush changes to a set of crosshairs. That crosshair is going to select or target or lock on to an area and sample it so that we can use it to heal with. Now we can see when I hover over here, your brush may not do this depending on the version of Photoshop you have or the option sets. I actually really do like it, and I know a lot of people don't. We can see what's going to happen if I brush over this blemish and I start brushing, and it disappears. Selecting clean areas of skin, always a new selection for every little area that we work on, cleaning up these tiny imperfections. Most of these things nobody would ever notice when they were looking at the picture. Certainly the picture isn't meant to be viewed at this size, so the things that we are seeing now would be imperceptible to anybody actually viewing the image at a decent resolution. still, the thing is what we're trying to do is build on a foundation and create the base for the rest of our image. So what we're going to do is make sure that any small little imperfection that we may not like is taken care of. It's that easy. Now I am using a pen tool. If you are using a mouse, you'll want to make sure that you're resizing your brush quite often, keeping the brush, as you can see over here, just a little bit bigger than the blemish that you're going to be repairing. Just so you're not fixing skin that doesn't need fixing, destroying texture that's good texture, or sampling areas that you don't want to sample from. The pen tool that I have is kind of set up so that the diameter of my brush is based on the amount of pressure I apply to the tablet. So there's a lot less, if you have the tablet, there's a lot less resizing needed, at least in the miniature, the tiny little granular jobs that we're doing here. It's very fine detail work. Just carry on down and around our image. Now we see a little bit of a crease here. This crease is completely natural. It's not really taking away from our image at all. At the same time, it isn't helping us either. It's exactly the same thing. Sample from just beside it, clean skin, and wipe it over the area we want to change. Now, if you notice, I didn't, like I will over here, I didn't grab one area and just wipe all the way along it. This doesn't actually always end up looking too good. You can see there's some little bit of harsh transitions here that we don't need to have, where if we were to take smaller samples and brush them on a little bit at a time, keeping them random or seemingly random, we can have this work be totally undetectable. One of the risks that you run when you're sampling or running your healing brush tool all the way along a blemish, a hair, a crease, a crack, anything, whatever it is you might be trying to take away, one of the risks you run is running that sample mark. You can see with the crosshairs are close to this blemish. If it were to hit it, we'd end up duplicating that in the skin next to it. It's a problem that we just don't need. We'll get rid of that. We don't need it. The truth is the more time you spend doing your healing at this level in your workflow, the better your image is going to end up being, the better the final product will be. Okay, I'm going to carry on all the way around our face. And I'll meet you back at the top in a minute. Alright, here we are back up at top again. Just going to take care of one more little crease. Same as before, just selecting small areas of clean skin to use for my sample area. I'm brushing them over on both sides. There we are. Look at this. That crease is undetectable. Now I don't want to get rid of everything. Some texture in the skin is definitely necessary. We need this. Everybody has pores. We expect to see them. We want them on the skin. Just getting rid of anything larger than the most. Around them. There we go. Now let's zoom out a little bit. Very nice. What we don't want to do is neglect the rest of our image. Make sure to have a look around the rest of the skin. See if there's any blemishes that you'd like to get taken care of. Here we see a hair that's a little bit distracting. Again, exactly the same process as the creases in the skin we dealt with earlier. There we are. I think we're looking pretty good. Always come back, fit the screen, zoom out on your image, have another, zoom out on your image, have a look at it, see if there's anything you'd like to work on. Again, I see a couple of spots up here. The forehead that I think could use a little touch up. Okay, there we are. Okay, so join me in the next tutorial in this series, coming out a week after this one, where we'll go ahead and smooth the skin out and give it a real high-end look. Take care, everybody. Once again, I'm Mike from HebdonPhotography. Have a great day.